Hello zoology people! Today I want to talk about domestication. What does it mean to be domesticated? Well, domestication means that you've been bred and raised by humans or side by side with humans for so long that you've lost many of your natural instincts. And really, domesticated animals can't survive without humans. There's also a lot of domesticated animals that have gone through pedomorphosis. If you're not sure what that is, look it up. It's really fascinating. Or check out my video on pedomorphosis, where I talk about why we can have a pet dog but not a pet wolf. There's also some other really interesting characteristics that have accidentally gone along with domestication. We see animals that are domesticated are smaller in stature or larger than their wild type. Also, floppy ears. Floppy ears is a common trait among domesticated animals. And when I say domesticated animals, I mostly mean mammals. And so let's look at some of our domesticated mammals. Pigs have floppy ears now. Dogs have floppy ears now. Cows have floppy ears. And so why would that happen? Well, in order to hear if prey is coming to eat you, you need to have upright ears, like little satellites, to hear if something is stalking you. And that's not the case with domesticated animals. They're not listening for that. And so floppy ears ends up being a side effect of domestication. Another really interesting side effect of domestication is piebald coloring. By piebald, I mean like black and white or brown and white. Think of our cows. So cows didn't become black and white until they were domesticated. We have piebald pigs. We have piebald cats, piebald dogs. A lot of our domesticated mammals end up with a piebald coloring. And it just kind of goes hand in hand with the domestication process. The small size or large size is due to us choosing larger animals because we want larger animals, especially if we're eating them, or smaller because they don't have to protect themselves. They don't have to fight, or it's also easier to maneuver. And so you see the smaller or larger stature in our domesticated animals. So what about our pets that are not domesticated? Well, there's some animals that can never be domesticated because quite frankly, they're not really intelligent enough to be domesticated, like our pet lizards. You can't have a domesticated lizard. Lizards are lizards. They're not smart enough to lose their instinct and learn how to be around people. But you can have what we call captive bred pets. Captive bred means it was born in captivity, it wasn't born in the wild. And when you have captive bred lizards, they're usually a better pet than a wild caught lizard because a wild caught lizard has had to deal with the stresses and struggles of being in the wild. And so they have a more wild personality. But you're never going to get a domesticated lizard. Lizards just kind of put up with us. You know, I have many pet lizards and they just kind of put up with me. You know, they were born in captivity and they put up with people. But they're not technically domesticated. And if you were to let them go in their home, they'd probably be just fine. They haven't lost any of their instincts. They could still hunt. They can still do all of those things. Same thing with like pet snakes or a pet tarantula or a pet fish. All of those things can be born in captivity and probably make a slightly better pet because they're born in captivity, but they're not domesticated. We don't have domesticated fish. We don't have domesticated reptiles. Birds are intelligent enough to be domesticated. For example, chickens are domesticated. Most chickens can't really survive in the wild. You know, everything's going to try and eat them. And they've just been around people for so long that they have all these characteristics of domestication. And if we look at like pet parrots aren't domesticated, but they're intelligent enough that they know who their owner is or who their new flock is, and so they can make a good pet. And so domestication means that we've been breeding them and raising them side by side with humans for so long that they've lost their natural instincts to really survive in nature. And so not all animals can be domesticated. And not all of our pets count as domesticated. A lot of our food animals can be domesticated, like pigs are domesticated, Cattle are domesticated, chickens are domesticated, and so all of those, because they've lived with humans for so long, have those characteristics. All right, I hope this kind of clears up what it means to be domesticated, and I will talk to you guys next time.